Good afternoon, everybody. It's Follow Along Friday on my Facebook page, Stampin Show Tell Time with Susan. We're going to do a simple stamping project, but this is going to be in the theme of my mystery case challenges for this week. This is a Z-fold card. So a Z-fold card, as I was telling my subscribers to my blog at pumpkinhillstampers.com, is simply a card with a folded back front section. So this is a piece of shimmer white. So it's whisper white cardstock. It's thick, but it's got a little bit of shimmer to it. So when it catches the light, there's a little shine, but it's not over the top. It's just kind of a nice added embellishment. So I'm going to go ahead and score this at my halfway part, right, my 4 1/4. Now I have put a score line here at 1 1/4, and I'm just going to fold that back. So there's no rule as to how much gets folded back. It's dependent on the crafter, but this one I'm going to do at 1 1/4. Okay, so as you can see, it makes kind of like a Z or a zigzag pattern. Okay, so there is the front and base of my card. Now I'm going to stamp for you with the Christmas Means More stamp set for this card. I'm going to use the little bell and the little holly leaf. Okay, and I'm going to stamp here and here. And then I'm going to use my tag punch. This is my delightful tag topper, and I'm going to make a sentiment tag. So let's do our stamping first. So I've taken out my old olive ink, and I'm going to use the little holly with that one, and I've taken out my bumblebee ink. I'm going to use the little bell for this one. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to create my own pattern sections on these two sections of cardstock. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my fold back as my line. I'm not going to worry about masking it. I'm just going to try not to stamp too close to overlap on that line. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the bell. Now I'm going to put the two images kind of interchanging with each other, but I'm going to try to just go ahead and stamp them freehand. So we'll see how this goes. So I always kind of start with my idea with you guys here, but I'm always crafting kind of on the fly. So see, I've left space between, and now I'm going to come in and I'm going to kind of alternate where I put those bells with that other pattern. And I can do some right on the edges if I want, right? And let's see. No, I'm going to go ahead and do the other one first. So now I've got my holly, and I'm just going to come in, and in between, I'm going to add my other image. And I can turn these so that they're not all pointing the same direction. Okay, so simple stamping. 2 stamps, 2 colors, and I just stamp them, leaving space between them and filling in my space. Now, I also have my railroad marker because I want to go back and I want to add red to those little circles. So I'm just going to take my paintbrush tip and I'm just going to add, nice and easy, some red spots in those circles. Now, I think I've done it here on the follow along where I've used my blender pen, which is my blank tip pen, right? And if I wanted to, I could go back and I could use this to pull some of this color in. So do I want to do that? I have to think because it's going to be dry soon. I think I will do it on the green. So if I just pull some ink from the image in towards the center, can you see how it's just shading those leaves with the green? So the sooner you do this after you stamp, the more active your ink will be, but I've even gone back later and done this. Okay, so now I've got some more color into my card just with my blender pen. Okay, so let's leave that like that for a minute. Let's go ahead and do our tag. So I have a piece of scrap paper here and my tag punch. I'm going to punch it first. So this punch has different measures You can do a 1-inch piece, you can have a 1.5-inch piece, or a 2-inch piece. The sentiment I want to use is going to fit best on the 2-inch piece. So I'm going to use the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing along for all to hear. So I'm going to put that down on my grid paper, and I can see that it measures less than 2 inches, but I'm going to want some space on either side. So I'm going to go with the 2-inch tag. So I'm just going to slide this in. Okay, it's going to ride right on those rails and go in square. And I can see from the back that this is the shape it's going to punch. Okay? So there's my punched tag. Now, I need to put my stamp on a block. So you can always just press it to the block like that. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp it in the green. So I'm going to ink it up. Now you can always practice on your scrap mat to make sure you've got pressure and a good amount of ink on your stamp. And now I'm just going to press this down in the center of my tag. There we go. Okay, so there's my sentiment for the front, and I can put this anywhere I want. I think I'm going to put it about there. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on dimensionals. I think I'm going to go ahead and add it kind of on a key corner going across. Yeah, about there. Okay, so now putting those dimensionals on, remember I didn't put any adhesive behind the strip, but by putting those dimensionals on, it's going to hold that back and down. So there's my really simple follow along Christmas card for you today. So it's a Z-fold pattern. It's simple stamping, right? One stamp set. I took these small images and just did my 2 panels, right? Simple stamping. I used the green and the yellow ink, right? The bumblebee and the old olive. I used my red marker to add the berries, and I used my blender to just blend some of that color in from the leaves. I could go back and do the same thing with the bells, but I think I'm going to leave them open. And then on the inside, I have this nice blank card. I could add another sentiment here if I wanted to, or I could just write my Christmas greeting in there to whoever I'm going to send it to. Now for an envelope, right, the little envelope stamping, make a card, stamp the envelope, I'm going to just repeat the same pattern, and I think I'm going to put it on the back. So I'm just going to stamp a few images on my back panel there. Let's do one more up there. I'm going to repeat with my holly as well. If I open this up, I won't get it on the part where I don't want it. Right? So I've got my envelope stamped, I've got my card stamped, and I'm ready to go. Alright guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed our quick little follow along Friday, and I hope you'll watch the next video in the lineup here with all the Z-fold cards I shared this week on the Stampin' Show and Tell blog over on my blog at pumpkinhillstampers.com. If you have any questions about this technique or card project or any other, you can always shoot me an email or message me here on Facebook. I'm happy to help, and I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.